Okay, welcome back to Inside DTK this week. Actually, go again. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Inside DTK. This week we're in the body and paint shop. So as you'll see, we're in the prep bays here now, and this is a multi-use area. So we use this for obviously our filler work, all of our body work. We can prime out here. This is basically a spray booth just without being fully enclosed. So it's a really useful space, and we take cars, like I said, from bare metal right through to paint and finishing here. So you'll see this 55 Chevy convertible behind us, and that has been through every stage. Probably a little background story on this car. It basically came to us as a basket case. It was in boxes. It was rusted out, the floor was gone, the seals, the quarters were in bad shape. So this has been through our whole process, which basically starts off with, the car arrives, we assemble the car, we go over the car, we do a parts inventory, everything's labelled, bagged and tagged, and then it's torn back down, and we make an assessment of how we're going to tackle the job. So basically this one, first thing straight off the bat was to replace that floor. So this is a brand new floor. We've then done inner and outer sills, or rockers for you Americans, and fabricated everything that we need to. So it is a resto mod. It has a lot of modern components in there, such as air conditioning. We're running the Tesla I booster in this one. A lot of modern cons to try and make the drivability a lot more enjoyable, so the owner can just jump in and enjoy it on a weekend without any dramas. So you'll see here, there's a lot of holes in the firewall. There's a lot of random things that might look random now, but basically every single grommet, wiring grommet passed through, heater hoses, AC hoses, everything has been done in the metal stage. And then fitment is checked as we go through the bodywork stage. And the reason we do that is no one wants to drill a hole after paint. No one wants to put a screw in after paint. So there's no tech screws. Everything has a thread. Everything has a home. Everything's done. So the paint guys don't need to worry about that thing when it gets here. So you'll see behind me here, all the panels, they've just been painted. So that's straight off the gun. That's straight out of the booth. You can see some of it still masks up there. So we need to go through there now and do assembly. So basically at this stage now, we'll denib and buff the areas that we can't get to later when the panels are on, and then the car gets panelled up and goes through the cutting and buffing stage. Now this one, we're not doing a massive hard cut, like say at 600 right through. We're doing our normal street cut and buff, which is a lot more, less aggressive, I should say, and gives a beautiful finish, and it's not so perfect that you don't want to take it out and drive it. So, but in saying that, it's still going to be super nice. So you can see some of the matte finishes that we've done there. On the camera, I'm not sure if you can see it and if it looks unfinished, but that's a matte clear over the base colour. And we do that to give a bit of a contrast in the engine bay. And I just think it looks awesome. So we do that on a lot of the cars. But this car's got, like I said, updated suspension, motor, gearbox, all the computers, the braking systems all updated. So this should be just a really nice Sunday driver. You'll notice the car here next to it. It's a Corvette. So we've been building this car for a guy for some time. It's been through the exact same process. So the car arrived, it was in really bad shape. So we've done an assessment, parts inventory, worked out a plan of attack, and then hit the car running. So this car is a fiberglass car, which has its challenges. And as I said, these two cars are very similar, but different challenges with both. This one's metal, so we had the rust to contend with. This one is fiberglass, so we had a lot of bad original fiberglass that we had to dig right out and then re-fiberglass from scratch. And it gets a little bit tricky with edges, thickness of edges. So the 55, for example, door edges might be 2 mil. Door edges and guard edges and bonnet edges on this car might be 4 mil, 5 mil, 6 mil, 8 mil. So, we have a bit of trouble, or not trouble, but it's challenging to get everything to be gapped nice and then open and close. And and work nicely. But as you can see, it's really nice. It's already been through the first cutting and buffing stage. It has 2 more to go, and that will be done after assembly. So from here, once these cars are panelled up, they'll go to the assembly shop, and then all the sound deadening, wiring, plumbing that we've previously done goes back into the car. So you might think, and you might see on TV, guys doing a lot of stuff after paint, but that's not really how you do it. How you should do it is have everything buttoned off in fabrication. Because like I said, no one wants to drill a hole after paint. You don't want to be doing that. So that's why we do it this way. So these cars will go across to the assembly shop in the next week or so, a couple of weeks, and then the next 2 cars or whatever will come in for bodywork, and then this will become our prep bay again. You can see the lights on the roof if we pan out. A lot of white lines. Now, if you take the camera over to the guards, you'll see the white lines on the panels. Now, these reflections of the white lines help us to identify any discrepancies or issues in the bodywork, and we use these lights in the metal stage, we use them in the bodywork stage, and then we use them in the cutting and buffing stage. So the lights don't lie, and the tools that we use, the splines, they don't lie. So there's no cheating really, and it makes it easier and faster. This car also has a set of our wheels. So these are drawn in SolidWorks here, and then they're cut and manufactured. They're stamped, labelled, load rated, ready for the engineer. It's a good way to go about it, because I know a lot of the custom wheels aren't load rated, and then it becomes a headache through engineering. These are specifically built with load rating in mind, so that doesn't become an issue down the track. But you'll see this area here, it's ventilated. So as I said, a multi-purpose space. This can be used as a prep bay. We can paint in here if we're doing little bits and pieces, and then we can clean it out and also use it for the cutting and buffing stage. It's fully ventilated, so it usually runs all day on a variable speed fan or 2 fans, and it just sucks the dust away against them filters, and it's a really nice space to work in. One of the things you'll probably notice as well in the background is like shelves with parts on them. So one of the tricky things with doing these cars is the amount of parts that we have for each car, like thousands of parts. Our mezzanine is full of parts. Down here where the cars are getting worked on, there's shelves with parts, and they're in various stages. So they might be painted or still in metal needing to be painted. So if we come over here, you'll see up the top we've got door hinges painted, ready to go on, bonnet hinges painted, ready to go on, and then down on this shelf here, we've got bare metal parts that need to be prepped and painted. But the parts inventory that we do at the start is super important, and it's updated through the build, because the last thing you want is, okay, we need the door hinges. Where are they? Oh, well, we know that they're on the 55 convertible shelf in bay 2. That's where they are. So parts inventory and labeling and bagging, tagging is something that we drum into everyone here, because later down the track it can become a real nightmare if you're trying to search for parts. So you can see here, this box here was literally just brought down today from the mezzanine, from his shelves. So that says 55 Chev. We know that that's all the interior parts for the 55 Chev. So they've been brought down ready for pre-fitment before it goes off to the assembly shop. Some things we do assemble here because things need to go on, certain things need to go on before the panels go on. So for example, with the 55, we did all the heat shielding has gone on. Some of the wiring grommets will go in. Some of the bulkheads for the air conditioning and heater are hidden in behind the inner guards, so they will all go on ahead of time before it heads around to Dan in the assembly shop. And that way there's no double handling. And I think that's one of the beauties of having the 3 departments at the shop here. Every stage or every department is made accountable by the next. So if the fab shop misses something, it's picked up in the body shop. If the body shop misses something, it's picked up in the assembly shop. And there's no buck passing. So you can't hide or get away with anything. And that's probably one of the advantages of having the 3 departments. Like, we don't have to send the car out for body and paint. We don't have to send the car out to have the exhaust done, for example. We don't need to send it out to have the steering made. We don't need to send it out for chassis work. It's all done here. And every single person in this shop is educated in a way where when I'm designing something in SolidWorks, I know the paint tolerances. When the guys are fabricating things in the fab shop, we know the paint tolerances. So part of our monthly meetings is going through processes. So every department has a process and a rule, and some of them are hard rules, some of them can be bent a little bit, but we need to stick to the rules so when it gets to the next department, there's no surprises and no hiccups, and that's the way we do it. So each department is made accountable by the next. In saying that, over here, we've got all the stainless steel and chrome parts. So these stainless steel parts, moulds, tail light bezels, body moulds, all the bits and pieces, these were all pre-fitted in the fab shop. So these have been through the fab shop hands, the body shop guys' hands, and then they'll go through the assembly shop hands. So there's no surprises. So if there was any issues in fitment in the fab stage, it's addressed then. And then by the time it gets to the body shop, it's just, small refinements to get them to fit perfectly. So that's what I mean about accountability and making sure the whole process is followed from start to finish. You see here, like a lot of these molds still need to be polished. These have literally just come back downstairs from storage to go to the assembly stage. So a lot of this stuff now, we lay it all out, we work out what's new. Like we have brand new door handles here, we have some brand new badges, we have some original stainless steel pieces, we have some original chrome pieces. This is the point now where we decide, okay, what needs to go to polishing, what needs to go to chrome, what needs to be replaced. But generally by this point, we've already decided what we're going to use because we've bodyworked the car around it. So that's why these are laid out here. And it's just awesome to see. Like, look how good this stuff is. 55 Chevys, full of jewelry. Perfect. And even these, so you can see these have the little window felts on there. So at this point now, if they need to be replaced or cleaned or refurbished, this is where it happens. It just makes the process faster. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do all the time. We're trying to make it easier on ourselves. We're trying to make it easier for our workmates. The next department doesn't want to be left with a whole bunch of headaches. Like I can only imagine if you built a car and sent it out to a panel shop and body shop and they had all these issues and they didn't know where to start, we can literally walk through that door there and ask the fab guys, what's the go with this? And it's sorted. So yeah, that's the multi-purpose prep bays. We call it a surfacing studio because that's basically what it is. So over here is our paint shop area. This is the front area is used for R&R mostly, and then around there's the paint booth. But you'll see we've got a two-poster in here, plenty of space, because when you're pulling a car down, you've got hundreds of panels, hundreds of fasteners, hinges, bloody all the parts. So we've got plenty of space out here. At the moment, we've just got a little Corvette on here, another fiberglass car. So it's had a front ender. It's just come in for some insurance work. So we'll get that in and out as quick as we can. But behind me here is this fantastic E-Type Jag. It's got a really cranky V12 in it. It's been built, it's really fast. This thing will fry the tyres through every gear. But it's got a lot of modern changes. So it's very, very classic, has a lot of the original parts, but it's not a concourse build. But the thing is with that, all of the focus was put into the drivability and performance. So this thing really gets up and goes. You'll see the finish on this car. It's quite nice. It still needs to have our final detail at the end and another buff. But this has been built in much of the same way as the Corvette and the 55 I was talking about. So drivability, reliability, but not too nice that you don't want to touch it. I mean, it's super nice and you've still got to be careful, but it's not an elite show car where you don't want to touch it. So the idea behind this build is the owner lives up the coast. He wants to be able to get in this thing on a Sunday, get his wife in the car, big long scarf out the back, and just be cruising down the East Coast. So we've taken it right through all the stages now, and you'll see that the top isn't trimmed. There's no carpets, no door cards. That's because it's just about to head to the trimmer. So talking about things in-house, the trim at the moment is the only thing that we send a car out for, and we really would like to change that in the future and bring in the right guy for a trimming department. We've got the space, we've got the work, we just need to find the right guy. So if you are a trimmer and you want to get involved in this place, hit me up. It'll be the best. So we want to try and keep everything in-house and control the quality and like I said, accountability. No dramas, no problems, keep it all in-house. So in this area as well is some panels waiting for the 56 F100. These are underbody panels, running boards, tub and guards. They've been painted. Cutting and buffing has started on this stuff, but the rest of the cutting and buffing will be finished on the car. You'll see in here, if Skinny comes over, bit of buffing compound, but in the back there's the floor. So this is not timber, this is CNC routed composite board, and we've used an industrial type wrap that's designed to be on the outside of buildings. So it's UV stable, abrasive resistant, and is lighter. And it's something new that we're trying. So this is the first one. So we hope it works out really nice. But if we look over here, we've got the lid. So again, it looks like timber. It probably really looks like timber on the camera, but in person, it fully looks like timber. Like, it is sick. So here we can see that it is one piece and it is CNC routed to take the fasteners, to take the stainless steel strips. And all these strips have been cut with hidden fasteners to fit the bed perfectly. And that's the lid. So yeah, that'll be something cool. And you guys should definitely tune in for the assembly shop tour, because you'll see that car and it is progressing nicely. It's looking primo. But yeah, here's the booth. So again, in-house. The cars only need to roll around from the body shop straight into the booth. No logistics, no buck passing. Again, like I said, the accountability for each department. It's all here. We mix the paint here. We match the colours here. It's all done here. So there's no around really at the end of the day. So yeah, this is the paint shop. This is the R&R section, and I hope you like the tour this week. Come back in a few weeks when we have the assembly shop tour. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, hit us up on socials, get amongst it. Cheers, guys.